Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about how narcissists hate kissing their partners. And this is so true. You're going to see this when you deal with a narcissist, that they're not into kissing, they're not into hugging. And I've had a few people that say, well, they were kissing and they were hugging me. And I asked them and I said, oh, really? I said, when were they kissing and hugging you? And of course, it was in the beginning. See, this is how narcissists fool you. They pretend to be very affectionate, very loving, very romantic during the love bombing stages. Some can be generous even by giving you gifts or little spending money here or there. And you think like, oh, they're not like these other people. They're a giver. They're not a taker, because the narcissist is going to portray the exact opposite of who they are in the beginning. So they're also going to portray that they're a great lover. Okay. And some of them may even be good in the bedroom in the very beginning. And then afterwards, they're not the same. Afterwards, when you're with a narcissist, it may just be strictly sex. They're just going to want to use you strictly for sex, strictly to get off, okay? They're not going to want the intimacy of kissing, cuddling, holding. They like to keep their distance. So when you deal with a narcissist, they're not going to, once they've got you, once that narcissist has you, they may want to get in the bed with you to just use you for sex, like a piece of meat, okay, to put it bluntly, but they're not going to want to do foreplay. Very few of them want to do foreplay. And then after they have sex and they get off, they're not going to want to hold you and kiss you and, be seductive with you or any of that. They are in the beginning, though. This is the irony. In the beginning, they will do that. And that's the way they try to seduce you and bring you down. You'll see this a lot with a female covert narcissist, because she especially uses her sexuality to hook her prey by dressing sexy, by willing to do anything sexually. She will sex out her prey. This is so true. And this is why, a lot of their partners, it's not so much that they're in love with the female covert narcissist, but they're in lust with them. And the same thing goes for the male narcissist as well. He's going to try to seduce you in the very beginning. Again, they're going to be very, they're going to want to have sex with you for hours. They're going to want to do foreplay. But the kissing aspect, they'll even kiss you in the beginning, all right? But you're going to notice when you kiss them, it's not going to be long, okay? It's not going to be long. And they do not like making out, tongue kissing, or anything like that. You're also going to notice that once you're in the relationship with them and they've got you, they get to that point of they have you already, and maybe they've started to devalue you, they're not going to want to kiss at all. A matter of fact, you're lucky if you get a kiss on the cheek from them. And a lot of times you're going to have to even ask for that kiss on the cheek. But why do they hate that? Why wouldn't they want to kiss? Because kissing is a very intimate thing. It's being very, very close with your partner. And the narcissist does not want to be close. They don't want to be that close. They want instant gratification. They want pleasure, but they don't want the intimacy that comes along with that kind of closeness. That's why a lot of them, too, when it comes to oral sex, a lot of them don't want oral sex unless you're giving the oral sex to them. They don't want to be giving oral sex to their partners, okay? And the other thing, too, is they automatically think like you're dirty, you're this and everything. Like in their minds, they're thinking you're doing what they're doing. You're sleeping with multiple partners and everything like that. So you're going to see, too, when you deal with these narcissists, they're crazy sometimes about like hygiene and, fanatics about showering a million times. They'll come home after being with other supply and they're in the shower for hours. Why is that? Because they're trying to rinse off all that smut off their body. And this is another reason too why they don't want to have oral sex with you or kiss you or anything like that, because they're thinking you're doing the same thing that they're doing, and it actually revolts them. This is the joke. They could be revolted by you thinking that you're doing that, you're doing oral sex on other people and everything, and now you're with them. And the irony is that they're the ones who are actually doing it. But you're going to feel very, very alone when you're with these, especially the covert narcissist. You're going to feel like you're with a roommate. You're going to feel like you have to beg for any kind of sex out of them. They're going to give you excuses. I'm tired. I had a long day. Is that all you think about? They're never, ever going to want to just, put their arm around you, kiss you, kiss, your lips, or stick their tongue in your mouth. If they do give you a kiss, it's going to be a peck, okay? They're going to give you a quick peck, and that's quick peck is to basically just shut you up. That's what they're doing. They're just basically just shutting you up. Because at that point, once the narcissist has you, once they know that they have you hook, line, and sinker, there's no more challenge there. So they don't feel like they have to put that extra effort in, because basically they're not all in. They're not all into the relationship. And you will feel it. Your gut will feel it. You're going to feel very much alone when you're with these narcissists, especially the covert narcissist. And you may get to a point where you may even say something to them like, hey, how come you never want to kiss? How come you never want to sit near me? How come you don't want to be intimate, like any intimacy with me? And they'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. They're going to gaslight you. I don't know what you're talking about. We were intimate last night. Meanwhile, it may have been sex, but there was no intimacy, okay? The other thing that they do is once they have their partner, all of that romance goes out the window, okay? They no longer have to work in trying to be romantic, pretending that you two were meant to be soulmates for the rest of their lives. Now you are purely just a vehicle for them to use, for them to get their pleasure and their instant gratification of getting off. So the kissing part, the only time you're going to see that kissing come back again is maybe when they're trying to hoover you back in. Maybe you go and you meet them because you think they changed, and they may try to kiss you passionately to kind of reel you back into the relationship. And you say to yourself, oh, they really missed me. Look at the way they were kissing me when they saw me. They really missed me. No, they really missed the supply you had to offer. And that now they're going to use the kissing aspect to try to seduce you and try to, have you lusting after them again. And they're going to try to romance you and make you think that they're in love with you when they're really not in love with you. Narcissists are not in love with you. If anything, the narcissist was lusting you, or they were looking at you for some kind of financial supply, all right? Or they just like the attention that you were giving them. So narcissists hate intimacy, okay? This is the one thing that they hate the most besides, exposure or being abandoned. They hate intimacy because they're afraid to get close to people. They're afraid to get hurt. They're afraid to get their feelings into everything because, again, they don't want to fall for anybody. They don't want to be vulnerable. So kissing brings you closer to your partner, right? You have their tongue in your mouth. Your tongue is in their mouth. You're connected. You're feeling, euphoric, like that's more connected than having intercourse with somebody. And, that's why a lot of narcissists, a lot of them too, if they go with like prostitutes or they go with somebody just for sex, they may not want the oral sex. They just want straight intercourse because, they don't want, that closeness of kissing, lips, or anything like that. They want to be detached. They want to see, when you have intercourse, you can be with somebody and not be close and intimate with them. But when you're kissing somebody, or maybe, they're giving you oral sex or something, that's showing, more intimacy. The only time a narcissist would maybe want to give you oral sex is because they're looking for some kind of praise out of you. They're looking for you to say, oh, you're the best I ever had. Oh my God, nobody ever went down on me like you did. Okay, this is the way the narcissist is. It's not because they want the praise, thinking that they're the best that you ever had. But when it comes to straight kissing, like straight just kissing the person, they're not into it because they're not all into you. It's as plain and simple. They're not all into you. They're with you because they may want attention. They're with you to, use you. You could be a filler in between somebody else. You could be a backup supply. Even with their main supply, they do the same thing with their main supply. They never want to get too close, especially the covert narcissist. There's always a wall up. It's like they're there, but they're really not there. A lot of times they'll be sitting on the couch and you see them on their phones, they're watching TV, they're supposed to be spending an evening with you, and yet you feel alone. You feel like, you talk to them, they barely even look at you. Their head is enmeshed in the phone or reading a book or they don't want to be that close. They don't want to be that connected to you. All right. So the bottom line is this. You're going to feel very much alone. You're going to feel alone. You're going to feel unloved. You may have anxiety. You may have depression. You may start to think like there's something wrong with you. Okay? Because this person doesn't want to kiss you, doesn't want to hold you, doesn't want to be intimate with you. And the irony is they may be giving a lot of attention to people online. They may be liking Instagram models' pictures all online and may get more charge out of that than they are with their own partners. And you know why that is? Because they already got you. That's why. They already got you, or you're serving another purpose. Like I did a reel, like why would somebody keep somebody around, breadcrumb them and keep them around if they really weren't into them? Because you're offering something else to that narcissist. And that could just be purely security. You could be pure just security, knowing somebody's there. They come to you when they're not busy with the other supply, or you're a backup supply. They come to you to fill in their week because they don't want to be alone. Narcissists don't want to be alone. But, how somebody treats you shows you pretty much how they feel about you. But the only thing about that, the caveat to that is you can't go by in the beginning, because in the beginning is when they're going to put on their best act, their best performance to fool you that they're all in when they're really not all in. They're really not all in, okay? That's why a lot of times they make excuses why they can't see you. Some of them may ghost you and make excuses. Some of them may say, oh, I need a break. I need time to myself. Okay, even the busiest person in the world, if they really care about you, they're not going to want to take a break from you. They're going to want to be connected to you. They're going to want to be close with you. When somebody really cares about you and really has feelings for you, they're going to want to kiss you. They're going to want to be close to you. They're not going to want to be sitting on the other side of the couch and just, focused in on their phones. They're going to want to be close to you. So if they're not doing those things with you, you've got to question that and say, well, what are they doing with me? Are they with me because they want to live in my house? Are they with me because they have nothing else going on tonight and maybe their other supply isn't around and so they decided to just come over here so they wouldn't be alone? Are they with me because they're looking to use me for money, all right? Or they're looking to use me for a business? Are they with me because they're just using me for sex to get off? You've got to look at the relationship and say to yourself, well, if they don't want to be close, they don't want to be intimate, they don't want to kiss, they're not all into you. I hate to tell you this. If a narcissist or anybody else is telling you that they care about you, they love you, and all this other stuff, these are just words. This is what people don't understand. Just because somebody tells you they love you doesn't necessarily mean they do. They could be telling you that to keep you, because they've got to keep you. They got to dangle the carrot, right? So they're going to tell you what you want to hear to keep you around. But the truth of the matter is they're distant from you because they are they aren't all in, and they don't want to be close, and they don't want to kiss you. And a lot of times narcissists can't stand you. I hate to tell you guys this, but it's the truth. Narcissists can't stand you, and the reason, a lot of it is because they got with you when they really weren't into you, but they're using you because you had something to offer. So, let that mull around in your head and think about it and everything like that. And you really see the fact that they hate you at the end of the relationship, when they know that the relationship's breaking down, or you're ready to walk out, or they're ready to walk out. That's when that narcissist is really going to tell you what they think about you, and they're going to be wicked about it. And you're going to say to yourself, wow, listen to them. Listen to how they're ripping me up or cutting me up, because I don't want to be bothered with them because they're not giving me any love and affection, right? That's how the narcissist really feels about you. And I dealt with a narcissist that did that, all right, where I walked away and, he was devaluing me. And I said to him, I said, oh, really? I said, I'm this, I'm that. I said, so what the fuck you doing with me then, huh? Nobody's forcing you to be here. What are you doing here? If I'm this awful person, then what are you doing with me? Busted, right? You're not with me because you want to be with me. You're with me because of what I could offer you, right? And he sat there with his mouth open because he knew I had him. He knew I had him. And that's the way you got to be. You've got to be like, you know what? If I'm this awful person, what are you doing with me? You don't have to be here. I don't need you. I could find somebody else that really does want to be here. So the bottom line is they don't want to kiss, because the other reason for all this is because deep down they can't stand you and they hate you, and they're just using you for money, place to live, tension, or just straight sex, but they don't want to be connected to you because they're not into you. They're using you strictly just for sex, just to get off. See, narcissists will have sex with anybody. They'll have sex with anybody, all right? They don't care. They don't care. They're just using people to get off. That's all they are. They're using people to get off. They could have sex with anybody. So the bottom line is, don't think, because they're having sex with you, they're into you. No. And you'll see that too with the breadcrumbing, because they'll call you, they'll come see you, they'll have sex with you, and then you don't hear from them for 2-3 weeks, and they tell you, oh, I'm busy, this, that. Meanwhile, they're with other supply, and then they come back when they want to use you again, and they give you the love bombing. How you been, beautiful? Oh, I missed you, beautiful. Oh, I had so much going on. My mother was sick, this, that. They make excuses. But one thing about all these narcissists, once they've got you, once they're in a pseudo relationship, or you think you're in a relationship with them, they're not going to want to be close. They're not going to want to kiss you. They're not going to want to be intimate. They're not going to be into cuddling and holding. Once they got you, they're not going to want to do all those kind of things. So the only time you're going to see that is either in the beginning, in the love bombing, or if they try to hoover you back in and you go to see them and see what they're all about. But don't do that, because they're not going to change. Okay. It's all an act just to reel you back in because they want your supply again. All right. I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. If you're confused, you don't know what kind of narcissist you're dealing with, covert, overt, grandiose, malignant, or a combination of, malignant, covert, and you need clarity and you don't know how to deal with these people, check out my one-on-one confidential phone coach link in the bio. My new Facebook is The Game EXP 777 on Facebook. Instagram is The Game EXP 123. TikTok is The Game Exposed. And YouTube, where I have over 6,000 videos, is The Game Exposed podcast. And have a great day, you guys.